Let us get started. Let us get started. We balling, shot calling, trying to get that shot to drop up against that shot clock. You got to beat the best to be the best. We trying to see who beat the best from the east to the west. We balling, shot calling, trying to get that shot to drop up against that shot clock. You got to beat the best to be the best. I'm trying to see who beat the best from the east to the west. We balling. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Bo No Basketball because I do. Jumping right in this, I got a special announcement that I must make ASAP, and that is I'm doing a 40-day juice cleanse, liquids only for 40 days. And that's important because on this channel, as you know, we talk all things basketball, more specifically the NBA, more detailed the playoffs because everything is building up to the playoffs. So stay tuned if you need to learn about the NBA playoffs, if you like the NBA playoffs, or just if you follow the NBA playoffs in general. Looky here, a 40-day juice cleanse. 40 days is supposed to be the magical number, and that's important because when we're talking on this channel, we're going to talk mostly basketball. However, there are some crucial elements that go into basketball, like the fact that the basketball players usually, in a lot of instances, come from humble beginnings, uprooted from the culture, right? And in order to make it to that elite level, the dominant level, to be the best they can be at the craft they're working on, um, and performing at their optimal abilities, is to make sure they manage their nutrition. So a lot of them do juice cleanses, right, to cleanse out toxins, help with their liver, their kidneys, because if all that stuff go wrong, right, you won't be able to perform at that elite level. And so I'm doing a 40-day juice cleanse right now so that I can perform on this channel for y'all at that elite level. And I can't wait. Right now, I'm weighing in at about 235 pounds. I'm trying to break 200. The juice cleanse ends on March 1st. It's a big deal. I'm looking for the total body transformation. Right now, I'm a little fat boy, right? And so we got to tighten that up. And it's cool because when we talk about the NBA, we got to talk about nutrition because these players, you feel me? You'll see some of the NBA players a little sloppy too, or not as fast. You'll see some riding the bench probably because they're not taking care of their bodies. And it's important that we talk all things basketball. And all things basketball includes nutrition, the humble beginnings, the culture, the neighborhoods they come from. You feel me? So that way we get to kind of do some deep dive sometime, and kind of swerve, saying off basketball while keeping basketball as the focus. They say you can't talk about everything; you only can talk about one thing. But it's important to know that many different cultures encompass each other, right? The culture of basketball revolves around the culture of health, diet. The culture of basketball includes family, right? How do you manage the family of the NBA players coming to your games? Who do you pay for? Who don't you pay for? You know what I'm saying to you? So it's a big deal. So health is a big deal. The culture is a big deal, and it all plays a role with developing these players into NBA superstars. So we're not just talking about the NBA players all the time that's currently in the NBA. We may also have to discuss some of their journeys that led them to the NBA, which will lead us directly to some of the youth in the neighborhood and those topics. So with that, no further ado, with that said, uh, the drink today is day 3 of the juice cleanse. Day 1 was troubling with a headache, um, and stomach ache. Body's trying to do the withdrawal and tell me, you feel me, eat. And I went through this before. And I did a 7-day water cleanse, and I know those headaches and hunger pains are real. And this is no medical advice, right? I'm not giving any medical advice. I'm just speaking on my journey and my situation. So now I want to do a 40-day juice cleanse, and this is day 3. Day 2 was more of a mental game, and now I know going forward it's a superior mental game, right? And I gotta constantly tell myself I'm not eating, I'm cleansing, I'm not eating. When I have that thought, I got to be conscious of the thought of eating, so I can know that I'm not gonna eat. And then a lot of different things are trying to disturb your energy field, um, to make you get you distracted from the fact that you're trying to do something major. And that's what the NBA players too. In order for them to go on their journey, they got to make sure they focus with one thing in mind, right? Making it to the NBA. So that's where we at with it. We got one thing in mind: juice cleanse, total body transformation. I'm getting ready for the playoffs too, and I want to be in the best shape of my life when the playoffs come around. I ain't playing in them, but I'll be ready for them. We gonna be ready for them. And so I had a concoction today where I put um, grapefruit, and I never had this before, but grapefruit, banana, two bananas, about 3/4 of a grapefruit, 3/4 of lemon squeezed, juice squeezed in there from a fresh lemon, a little splash of aloe vera juice, the original flavor, and some little splash of water, I believe, and that's it. And that thing is smack, super delicious. I never knew, but I'm when I go to the store later on today, best believe I'm getting some grapefruits, lemons, and more bananas. And with that, we jump into the games. We jump into the games. We talking about the NBA. Two teams pop to my mind right now: the Nets, the Warriors. They just had a game the other day. The Nets came out of top. I was worried. They didn't. I was shorthanded. They didn't even have KD. I was worried that the game could get away from them. Let's dive. Let us dive into Sunday. Clippers beat the Mavs. We know that's how that's gonna go. In real life terms, Clippers better than the Mavs. Simple put, they beat them. Heat beat the Pelicans as they should. Pelicans is coming, but they're not. They're gonna make the playoffs, but they're not ready. Raptors is Knicks, close. Raptors scratching and clawing, trying to get in. Trying to get in. Nuggets, I did not think they would beat the Thunder. Shout out to Shea. You feel me? I feel like some teams are letting other teams win so they can kind of creep and make some noise because they're like, oh, maybe that team can beat a couple of those teams, and we know we can slaughter this team. So we can take an L because our record is pretty good. We can take an L to them so they get a dub, so they make the playoffs, so they can make some, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, say another team like the Lakers got a weak record, they would psychologically want the Thunder to make it in. The Lakers got a weak record, but they could be a handful. So let the Thunder, since their record is good, let's get them a couple more dubs, and maybe we can buy process elimination, somehow get them other teams out the way. If you follow my train of thought with that. Nevertheless, Grizzlies lost to the Suns. It could happen on any given night. I think the Suns would not best them in the 7 game series. So, but it can happen. The marquee match, and then the Lakers beat the Portland. They can, of course, that's bully ball. You know what I'm saying? They too small. They can't bang with the Lakers, of course. Marquee matchup was the Nets against the Warriors. Kyrie dropping 38 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists on their head. Chef Curry, with 26, 6 rebounds and 7 assists. It was a great game. Those two was going how they had their imprint on the game. I feel like they were still going through the emotions. Kyrie put the team on his back. No KD. Steph Curry did not play his best. We know he can play better, so this game could easily go either way. But I like that the Nets showed they ain't scared. They showed they're not scared. They showed resilience. You add KD into the mix, they gonna show extra force. You feel me? They playing ball. They balling. Claxton, shout out to him for balling, catching them alleys, blocking shots, rim protecting, sliding his feet on the young guards. Hey, we got something going on. At first, I'm like the Warriors. I was gonna pick hands down. If I had to pick two teams out the gate to make it, repeat Warriors against Celtics again. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I was feeling. You know what I'm saying? Overall, if I had to really make a call, who I think right now, don't hold me to it, Warriors and Celtics all day long. I'm not making that call though. But if I had to, if I was forced to, I would have to pick the Celtics above everybody in the East, and I'd have to pick the Warriors above if I had to. I don't have to because I also got the Nets in the East looking nice, and I also got the Denver Nuggets in the West looking nice, and I want to see them work because they run a system just similar. That's something, and I mean they run a system like the Warriors, not exactly like the Warriors, but both teams have a system that you got to deal with, and it's when you got a system that somebody got to deal with, it's a load. You ain't just dealing with that player, that magnificent chef Curry, best shooter of all time. You dealing with him inside of a system that you got to deal with. So you got to make sure you taking care of business on him and managing their system. And it goes with the Denver Nuggets is the same kind of noise. Jamal Murray and Joker, they running a super system over there. You got to deal with them as well as the system. But nevertheless, Kyrie dealt with it perfectly. Shout out to Kyrie, because Chef Curry acknowledged him as one of the greatest guards there is. He said that guy can put together a game unlike no other or any other or everybody else, um, multiple games at a time, which means he can elevate his game and play perfection. You feel me? At a high level consistently. Big noise. Because when you make it into the playoffs, you want to be consistent as possible. And Chef said that Kyrie Irving can play consistent. He ain't seen many. He said Kyrie and LeBron can keep their game at that high level consistently. I didn't hear him name nobody else who can do that. Although he also is one of them. He also is one of them that can keep his game at that level consistently. Boston Celtics showed that they couldn't do that every game, 7 games, and you feel me, in the series last year. So we'll see if they adjusted and made some moves. You feel me? Now, that's what we got going on. Scrolling over till today games. Let's find out what we got. Bucks versus Pistons. I expect the Bucks to come out and dominate. Celtics versus Magic. I expect Jason Tatum to come out and dominate because he's balling. Good game. Hawk versus Bulls. Bulls need the win. So I'm gonna pick them for the win. Because they need it. They need it now. Timberwolves versus Rockets. I expect Anthony Edwards to go bananas. Jazz versus Hornets. Hornets ain't ready. Let's go, Jazz. These easy picks. Spurs versus Trailblazers. It can be tight because Keldon Johnson is balling. I'm going underdog. I'm going Spurs. And then Grizzlies versus Kings. So we don't got too many marquee matchups. Grizzlies versus King. I expect Grizzlies gonna come out and dominate that game. They want to win. They want to keep their trend going, their record going and building. You know what I'm saying? They got higher things. So if I had to pick a marquee matchup, if I had to pick, I guess it'll be technically the based on record, Bulls and Hawks. Both of them fighting for position in the upcoming playoffs. So I have to go with the Bulls and the Hawks. Kings is coming. That's a crucial game. They both got a record saying they dominant and finna make the playoffs. So that could be a marquee matchup. It's low end marquee matchup because I don't put Kings in any kind of conversation with not a thing, even though their record is 26-19, so they speaking for themselves. But nah, I say nay. Grizzlies all day. You feel me? Let's watch it though. We're gonna watch that game. You know, keep an eye on it because Kings could come out. They balling. It's undeniable. Look at that boy. Look at that boy Sabonis with 18 points and 12 rebounds and dropping 7 dimes. This is all you need to be a baller. But I'm gonna pick marquee matchup, Hawks versus Bulls. That's something to keep an eye on. Let's see if DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine can show up. Hawks ain't trying to fall. You feel me? But if they do, they'll be at 500, like we talk about, 24-24. It's where you want to be at and to know you making it to the playoffs. But the Bulls is coming. They trying to get to that 500, so they know these games is crucial, and they better know it's crucial. I picked the Bulls to come out of that one. Shout out to the hometown headquarters. And with that, we balling, shot calling, trying to get that shot to drop up against that shot clock. You got to beat the best to be the best. We trying to see who be the best from the east to the west. We balling.